Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. According to research data from professional institutions, at its peak, iPhone production capacity in China reached more than 90%. Even now, mainland China is still the main production place of Apple products, but at this stage, a large amount of production capacity has been transferred to the Indian and Vietnamese markets, and the market structure it will also change. According to information officially disclosed by Apple, a large part of the iPhone 15 standard and Plus versions that were just launched this year are assembled by factories in India. However, the market feedback is not friendly, and many people refuse to buy iPhones made in India. It can be said that Cook was quite careful in the whole process. He only transferred the basic version of the mobile phone, which can be used as a small test. The high-end Pro and above versions are still assembled and produced in factories in China, and during quality control it has been well guaranteed. After all, the yield rate of parts manufactured in India is only 50%, which invisibly increases the cost of production. Faced with such a polarized state, many people may think that this is a deliberate move by Cook in order to improve the company. The overall profit caused consumers to buy more high-end products, but this inference was soon overturned. Although iPhones made in India are not recognized, Apple has been determined to transfer its supply chain to the Indian market. The recent topic of Apple may start iPhone 17 research and development in India has caused a lot of heated discussion in the technology circle. And the news that a large number of Chinese technical personnel have been sent to India has also spread like wildfire. Does it mean that Apple will support the Indian market and give up its layout in the mainland market? Apple sends a large number of technical personnel to India. According to the information provided by Mobile China, there is currently no accurate conclusion on whether Apple will start the research and development of iPhone 17 in India, but it is certain that Apple has sent a lot of Chinese technical workers there, most likely for the purpose of the entire development time for iPhone 16 took about half a year. According to overseas media, the iPhone foundry currently established in India has begun to lay out the iPhone 16 production line and has entered the trial production prototype stage. From this, it can be concluded that the iPhone 16 will definitely start simultaneous production in India. As for whether it is still for the ordinary version, there is currently no news to confirm. India is also very happy about the arrival of Apple. The Modi team is also actively cooperating with Cook to lay out the industrial chain, providing land and providing large subsidies. Apple is naturally willing to accept such a result. According to media reports, senior Indian officials have stated, Apple is interested in building a parts base in India, and both parties are officially actively seeking to achieve their goals. Although the iPhone 15 made in India is not popular in the market, Cook has always believed that this is a step-by-step process, and has not given up its corresponding plan because of the cold market. Apple is more eager to localize India as soon as possible, and expand corresponding proportion of parts manufacturing to prevent over-reliance on Chinese supply chain factories. After professional research institutions dismantled the iPhone 15, mainland China's parts accounted for only 2.5%, while the proportion of parts from the United States exceeded 33%, which means that the Biden team's decoupling plan has been quite successful. In the future, Chinese foundries may only be able to engage in assembly work, which also confirms Apple's subsequent plans. Apple continues to increase its support for the Indian market, and its subsequent production capacity will gradually increase. According to a social media post by analyst Mingkai Kuo, the iPhone production capacity produced in India has exceeded 12 to 14% this year, and this number is expected to rise to 12 to 14% next year. 20 to 25%. At this stage, it is difficult for Apple's sales to further increase, and this part of the released production capacity will naturally be deducted from the mainland Chinese market. Of course, considering the current overall strength of the Indian market, even if the research and development of iPhone 17 will be decentralized, it is estimated that it will only be the standard version, because the difficulty of design and development is relatively low, and it can effectively reduce potential risks for Apple. So, does this mean that Cook will completely abandon the Chinese mainland market? Is Apple going to give up on the mainland market? According to forecast data given by the market, due to the impact of Apple's transfer of production capacity, Foxconn's iPhone production capacity in Zhengzhou factory will be reduced by 35 to 45%, while the Taiyuan factory will reduce production capacity by 75 to 85%. If such data is true, what will happen to the iPhone production capacity? The impact on the domestic supply chain is still huge. Cook has repeatedly responded that he cannot do without the Chinese market, but China may have misunderstood it. The cannot do without, he said, does not refer to the supply chain, but simply refers to consumers who cannot do without China. Now it seems that there is a high probability that the industrial chain in mainland China will be abandoned. But this does not mean giving up on Chinese foundries. Cook made a proposal a long time ago, asking them to go to India to jointly build a complete industrial chain. But now Apple's orders are no longer stable, and the Indian market is eyeing Chinese companies. Who dares to make plans at this time? Wistron's experience is painful enough. It has lost a lot of energy and money. It will eventually withdraw from the Indian market, and the foundry that has been built will be taken over by the Tata Group. If Apple insists on transferring the supply chain, then China may also. There is no need for an iPhone anymore. What do you think about this?